Coming up on the next episode.
Good afternoon, YouTube. Here it is Tuesday, January the 16th. I am in the shop today. First time I've had the heat on in here this winter season. First time I've actually been in here really to do anything at all. As you can see, my computer has not been used for a while in here, and it is in the process of doing, I think, 130 updates, which is fine with me. A little bit afternoon, when I sit down in here to start this, I was cleaning up a little bit. It was actually morning then, but so in fact the first iteration of this intro, I said good morning, but not exactly right. What's been happening at DERB? Well, not much. Basically, I'm trying to get this camera. Is there? That's pretty good, I think. Anyway, I don't really mean to do all that, but it's letting it, something to watch while we're talking, I guess. The last video I posted on DERB was done over the course of about a month. And I had spurts here and there where I could do things, and I didn't feel like doing things, and things like that. I was happy to get it finally put up and on the interwebs, as they say. But like I said, that was that, and I didn't do one last week at all because I have actually been, I won't say deathly ill, but very sick since New Year's Day. I know that's quite a stretch, but I thought I had the flu. I had visited my son's family and at his house on the day before New Year's Eve, and we had a good time visiting and everything. It was basically our Christmas get-together, and everything went fine with that. Nobody seemed to be sick, and so, everything was fine. Well, anyway, I came back home from that. The next day, of course, was New Year's Eve. Of course, I don't do anything on New Year's Eve anyway, but I won't say I was sick, but I didn't feel up to my usual self, we'll put it that way. And then, of course, New Year's Day, it sort of hit me, and I started with the coughing, the sneezing, the runny nose, the just everything involved. A little bit of a fever, I think, with the flu, and I thought, well, picked it up off somebody, because that's, like I said, that's the only place I'd went. I did stop at a store on the way and pick up ice, but I didn't make contact with anybody there, so other than the cashier standing across the counter, which I didn't think was him, but anyway, so it did not get any better. I would take NyQuil at night to help me sleep, and I was sleeping okay. So anywho, that's what I had going on, and then it seemed like I got better from it, and I don't know, about a week ago, I guess, thought, maybe I'm coming out of it, but then it kind of dug in its heels again, and then a persistent cough came up, and it was one of those, coughs where you had to really dig down deep to get that congestion out, and it wasn't happening a lot as far as getting down there to get it out, and I think it was just kind of stuck in there. But so in talking to my daughter, she claims I had COVID. I don't know that I did or didn't. I have actually never had COVID before that I know of, and if it was, I guess. Now, yesterday was the first day I actually felt like doing something, and we had there was a couple of days in there that I managed to do a few things that had to be done. We had some kits that had to be sent out and things like that. And then we had some more to do last night or yesterday, and so I got busy with that. I spent most of the day in the bedroom making up kits. And of course, when you do that, I'm trying to make 20 at a time. And when you do that, you find out you're woefully inadequate on parts. And you find out what the deal is there. And I had a little emergency meeting with Bob, and we got together and bought some more parts to make up the rest of the kits. But I did come up with enough for 6 complete BDST2 kits, so I will be able to meet our present demand. There's 2 that are ready to boxed up and ready to go. I've just got to get them either to the post office or to the mailman. I don't like to do that on a day like today, because today is the day after a holiday, a Monday holiday, and that mail is usually pretty darn heavy on a Tuesday after a Monday holiday. So I don't like to bother them then. So probably I'll go ahead and make the label up for tomorrow, and then just give them to them tomorrow and send those out. But irregardless, whatever. This, I thought, I watched Bill's video, his I think most recent video, the one where he was doing a show and tell, future show and tell, I should say. I was just picking some stuff up off the floor. I gotta get my seat up. Keeps going down. Anyway, so I thought, maybe that's a good idea. I haven't done a shop video for a while, and I thought, I've got some things. I got some Christmas presents and things that I had bought, and new projects that I'm trying to work on, and things of that sort. And I thought, well, maybe it's a good time to do that. So here we are in the workshop, and we're going to basically look at some things that have occurred over the time I've been missing from YouTube. And so maybe we'll get to that, and that would be a good thing, I think. So stay tuned for that. Alright, well, the first thing up here on the bench is going to be our project that we're doing. And some of you, again, and I may have mentioned this, I don't even remember. I don't recall the videos I've made lately. And so if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but, it's just going to have to be for right now. Okay? So here we go. Let's get to the first thing. First item up for bid, as they say in the prices, right? Alright, well, there you go. There's what it is. And yes, that is a speaker enclosure. Big speaker, a woofer, and a tweeter. How's that? This is, if you look at the shape of this, this may bring back some memories for people. If they do, that's good. This is the boombox that I was designing for my son, and I was going to make it out of MDF board, and that just never happened. So I got the idea of shrinking it just a little bit, and I haven't really shrank it a lot. It's going to use the same exact speakers that I have for it. There's 4 holes here that will join up to the middle section, which is going to be printed, I think, next. And then there will be another speaker like this, obviously tilted the opposite way, on the other end. So they will all bolt together. They would be 1/4-20 type bolts here, 4 of them on each side, and that should keep it nice and steady. And for the top element, obviously this is not going to be big enough to put the top unit in, because the 8-inch speaker over here is going to take up most of that cabinet. So there's going to be a top unit printed for it and been attached to the top that will have all the amplifiers, controls, and things like that, and that will be done as well. I do have something I'm going to experiment with. I don't know yet that I'm going to use it, but I got the idea, and I think I mentioned this a good bit back before when I was doing the boom boxes and the little MP3 modules. I didn't care for the way those work, because they just play whatever songs are in order, and there's no randomness to it. I like random, when I play my music, I like random. I realize you can put it on there randomly, and that's probably what I do, but at the same time, I thought, well, this might be something better off the, have something like a Android type, And this is not Android because you can see clearly on there for Raspberry Pi. And it is a touchscreen monitor. I think 5-inch is basically the size of it. That should be big enough to choose your program. It will run basically any program like Android does, and the little music programs, and those allow you to be much more functional with your choices and things like that. And so, like I said, that's the way that's going to work. I don't know that I'm going to use this yet. I do have a spare Raspberry Pi that I could use with this. And I may not. I don't know yet. I've told my son that I'm experimenting with this, and again, that will be decided once I go through this and play around with it. But that's the update for that little device there. And again, I'm slow going with this. I printed up these speakers. I can print the main section, which will be here again, the 8-inch subwoofer, whatever you want to call it, and one of these on one spool of plastic. So it does take a bit of plastic to do. So I have finished off the roll on this one, and I've got yet to put a new roll in. I've got the roll sitting on the floor right here. I just haven't been in here and haven't felt like doing anything, obviously. And so I haven't got that started. But again, the next one to be printed will be the large one here. And again, I may flash up a picture of this Tinkercad version of this, and you can see how it's going to work. But it's basically just like the original that I designed. And it's just a little smaller version on the speakers. Again, like I said, the 8-inch is going to just be able to hold the 8-inch speaker, and that's about it. But so, like I said, the control head, or the head unit, whatever you want to call it, I haven't even thought about designing that yet because I'm not really sure if I'm using this or if I'm going with a module type thing or what. I wish that China would get their act together and come up with a module that could be programmed a little bit better, but so far they have been unwilling to do that. So anywho, that's not a big deal. We can always work out something. So anyway, so that's the update on that. And I'll get on to the next item up for bid. Alright, well, what you can see here now is my Dremel tool. Some of you may recognize it. This is the one I bought. Well, basically, when I started this shop, I bought this. This is a variable speed. And it is not an actual Dremel. I do have an actual Dremel, but it's a single speed. This has its cutoff wheel off it. The reason it still has that on there is because the last person that used it, that's what they were using. And that would have been my son-in-law. And he does a paper route. I think I've mentioned this before, 1 day a week. And like I said, he had a paper stand that had a lock on it there was no key for. And he needed to get the money out of it to put that back into the system or whatever, and so he had no way of cutting the lock. He tried bolt cutters, but he couldn't get them in there. And I told him, I said, well, I got this Dremel tool that will cut through the lock part, obviously. And so he borrowed that and did that, and he said it took a while to do, but he said he did get through it. So it accomplished the goal he wished. And in the meantime, I had been wanting to buy a new Dremel tool. This one's getting old. Not that it doesn't work, it does, but it's, the control's pretty dirty. It needs to be taken apart, cleaned really good, for one thing. But again, it does still work fine and everything like that, but at the same time, there's the brand of it, Power Pro. And like I say, it's been a good one, and I'm not complaining about that in any way at all. But in the meantime, what I went and did, I got to looking on Home Depot's site, and they had this little item here, which is basically the same thing as the other one, a Dremel type tool, variable speed. It's got quite a bit of a heavier motor than that one did, and we'll open it up here and take a look real quick at it. It does come up with a few extras, or a few extra items, I should say. But you can see it's a fairly powerful one. I mean, as far as, and the thing that got me about this, because I had never actually bought a Wend product before, but the price was very reasonable. I think it was only $20-something for this kit. And again, the motor was one of the biggest ones it does. It comes with its own flexible shaft, and that's good. Has some I'm not sure what these are, but it comes with those. And obviously the chuck key, or chuck wrench, whatever you want to call it. So like I said, I haven't really used this that much. I did try it once just to see if it worked, and it worked fine. But, and there are some other things in here that I don't even know what is in here, to tell you the truth. This may just be packing paper. I don't know. Okay, there you go. That's one of the things it came with right there. But you can see it does have some items with it, and so those are there. And so, like I said, it was a good value for the price, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and buy it. Because like I said, mine was getting old as it was, and I think these drill bits went with it too. I just had them out for some reason. I don't even know why. But anyway. And so at the same time I bought that, I bought another Dremel cutoff wheel kit, which has the shaft, or the anchor, or whatever you call these things, arbor, I guess is what they call them. But these are the easy lock type, and these work really good with the Dremel tools. And so bought that to go with that. And so that's that. I think I'll, if I can find the where I bought that at on Home Depot, I'll flash up the price of it. It was really reasonable. I don't know if the price has changed any or not since then. That was actually before Christmas time that I bought that. So that was that. Now, on to the next item, as they say. All right, back again with the last item on our little agenda here. This is a voice recorder, or sound recorder, I guess is what you would call it. I have been wanting, you may recall, you got older guys that on the channel, that I had a Chinese version of one of these, and it worked, but it didn't work, and it just never has been what I call accurate for a lot of different things. And so anyway, I bought I shouldn't say I bought these. When my daughter, we did our Secret Santa this year, and when we draw names, we were supposed to let everybody know what we wanted. The limit was $50, I think, on the gift. So I had said, I want one of these. And this is the one that I wanted right here. So you can see that's what it is. It's got the... let's see, where is it? That's not it. I believe there's an SD slot in for the recording, but I think it has like 4 gigabyte built in or whatever. I probably never ever have to add a SD card to it or anything like that. But now, as you can see, this one uses batteries. I think 2 AAAs, and it works well. I mean, it works. It's stereo, obviously, and like I said, it works very well. So that was the one I wanted. The problem was when the Secret Santa, or the Christmas time came around, we met and everything, and gifts were given out, and I didn't get that. And I got something obviously as good, I mean, as far as value is concerned, and it was a gift card. So I think it was a Walmart card, so I went on Walmart trying to find this and see if I could find it, and I couldn't find this exact one, but yet I found a better one. Well, I thought was a better one. I don't know that it is, but I thought it was. It had some features that this one doesn't have. It had, instead of external batteries like that, it had internal batteries that was rechargeable and things like that. So this is the one I was looking for then. Is the basically the same thing. It's just a little different, obviously. This is a, and I know this one has a, well, I don't know if that's it or not, but there's a slot here somewhere for an SD card. Maybe it was in here. Yeah, there it is right there. So you can put an SD card in this, and I'm sure the other one does too. But it's basically the same thing. A stereo. It's I think it has 4 gig built in. But one of the unique things about both of these is the fact that you can you recharge it and download it and things like that directly to the computer as a USB built in, and that works really nice. The same way with this one. It does the same thing. If I can, there you go. So they're both pretty similar. But what happened was I couldn't find it on Walmart. I came up with this one. This one was a little bit more, I think $70-something. And I thought, well, I don't really want to spend $70 on that. So I'm going to go on to eBay and see if there's maybe one I can get a little cheaper or something like that. Well, anyway, long story short, this is used. It's hard to see because it's like brand new. But I think it was $38 on eBay, and I couldn't pass that by. So I said, okay. So I went ahead and bought it and purchased it. I was telling my daughter, and she said, oh, great, you did that. And I said, yeah. She said, well, you got to come back out here on Christmas Day to have your meal. And I said, and she said, there's another present for you. So, okay, some of you probably have guessed it. It was this. She had bought it because this is what I wanted. And my grandson, who had my Secret Santa, didn't get it. And she could probably tell I was a little disappointed I didn't get what I wanted. But, at the same time, she went ahead and bought it. And she was a little bit upset that I'd went ahead and purchased another one. But, I'm one of those people that, I get what I want because, and I've told her that several times. I said, I'm at that age where, if I see something I want, I buy it. And I don't really do it that often because there's not really that much I want. But I wanted a good recorder, and now I have 2 of them. And I may do a future video in where we record or actually compare these two, which I thought would make a good video anyway. And again, I don't think a lot of people understand why I want one of these. I want one of these, and this is a video goal of mine, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I want to be able to set up a camera and either use a zoom lens or whatever, do it from afar. I mean, obviously far enough where it's not gonna pick up my voice on the camera microphone, and I would have this in my pocket or similar place, that would record and record a video. Obviously, doing it that way. Just something to do. I like have to sync the audio to the video. I think that's fun to do. And I got some more to mention about that. But like I said, and then, having 2 of them now, I'm sure I can come up with some clever use for the second one as well. Because me, I love gadgets, and these are gadgets. And I might even take my old Chinese one and get that into the mix and really have a sampling of stuff. But anyway, like I said, that was my Christmas present, both from me and to me. Excuse me on the cough, but still haven't totally got over the cough yet. But like I said, I don't feel bad, and I felt like coming in here and doing this. This is, again, Tuesday. It's now 12:37. My updates are done, I see, on the computer. That's the other thing, computers. That's the last thing I'm probably going to talk about, but I have been doing a lot with computers. I have, in addition to the the shipping department computer, which again is now all set up now like I want it, boots into 2 different versions of Linux, which is what I wanted with the 2 different drives, and so those are all set up and working well. They work exactly like I want them to work, and I'm happy about that. So, one of them is the SSD that I bought, the used one, and it works fine. And of course, the other one works fine too with the 2.5-inch hard drive, mechanical one. And there's a couple other things I want to be doing in there as well. But for right now, I've been concentrating on my living room computer, which I'm trying to get set up again with a triple boot actually. It boots into MX Linux, which is my workhorse operating system, and also boots into the same one as the shipping department boots into, the Linux Lite. It works fine doing that. And also I have Windows 10 on a different hard drive in there. And this is a version of Windows 10 that is not the standard Home Edition or Professional or whatever you want to call it. But it's called Enterprise. And it's a stripped down version basically. It doesn't have well, some of the features I'm sure of the regular versions. But again, it runs better, I think. And so far it has been pretty much flawless on that living room computer. Now I have to obviously go to boot it a little bit differently, but it doesn't boot under grub, which the other Linux operating systems do. But I can press the F12 and get it to boot directly from the boot choice memory or whatever, boot choice device, whatever that thing is. F12, you can basically choose from whatever's on the computer and boot from that. So that's how I do it. It's on its own 160 gigabyte drive, which is not big, but I really don't use Windows 10 that much. One of the things I was working on today is making this video using Shotcut in Windows 10. Now I've got the it's taking some time to get it set up because obviously when you're on a different computer you have to basically get the same setup as you use for the other one for it to work right. That's a long story, but I'm not going to go into it. But like I said, anyway, I do have it set up now with the intro and the same font that I use for that. And so I think I have everything I need to do that with this video here. And I'm going to try and make this video with Shotcut in Windows 10. Now, whether I'm successful or not at that, we'll see. But again, that's the plan. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Also have, at the same time, I bought another Dell 9020 computer for my son. And I had meant to get that to him before now, but it's been, like I said, I haven't been out since New Year's, basically. I did go out a couple times here locally and get something to eat or have to go to get my pills or something like that. I didn't really feel like it, but I did. And so my kids have been helping whenever they're in town or something. They get if I need something, they get it for me, and that's good. But so everything is starting to come together now. The other thing that I didn't talk about is the elephant in the room, as they say, is the temperature. Now I don't know. Bill seemed, when he made his video, it seemed to be pretty, I won't say warm, but it wasn't that bad where he was at. So, but I think that was 3 days ago when he made that video. So here, the last couple of 3 days, it has been near zero. And that's not Celsius. That's Fahrenheit. So, in fact, it was below zero either last night or the night before last, and it's been cold. And it's been cold in here. And right now, it's not feeling too bad because I have the heat on in here. I have its own. This room has its own little separate heater, like my bedroom. And I can also feel the heat coming up from the floor, from the register in the floor. So, and that's set on 65, I think. And this one is set on 65 as well, but this one's still running. I can hear it. But it's not bad in here. It's comfortable. Of course, I'm wearing layers too because I'm a big believer in layers. But like I said, that's been bad. I think the way the weather forecast looks to be, I think the start of next week looks pretty good. In fact, the whole week looks like it's going to be fairly back to normal for this time of the year, I think. 30s and 40s, which, you know, will seem like a heat wave after less than 20 for the last couple, 3 days. And I think Bob had mentioned Greg over in, in Illinois where he lives. I think it's been below zero. So I'm pretty sure that's been kind of rough. Of course, I think near Chicago, I believe, and I think they're kind of used to that stuff up there. But we're not so used to it here in Seymour, Indiana. So I'm hoping this is the brunt of the winter, cold weather of the winter, because I can put up with a lot of stuff in wintertime. Snow doesn't bother me that much. I don't get out and drive that much in it. The wind doesn't bother me, the rain, things like that. Although I did get kind of a depressed mode there with all the gloomy days that we had here. So, like I say, it's been kind of partly sunny the last couple of days, even though it's been very cold out. The car, never failed to start, and that's been good. And I did kind of remind me, it's a funny thing, I think the coldest day we've had so far, I went out to Wendys to get food, and I didn't even think anything about it. I just started the car like I always do and let it warm up a little bit, and I left the house, and of course, the temperature came up, didn't come up fast. It never got up to its normal range at all the time I got to Wendys. And then I just pulled in the parking lot, and I got to thinking, I wonder if my window will roll down. Because, power windows tend to be a little lackluster in the cold weather. So I got over to the side, and I tried it out. Sure enough, it was froze up solid. So I thought, well, this is not going to work. I can't very well order food and pick up food with no window. So I didn't even go through the drive-thru, just went around the drive-thru and went out and went uptown a little bit and turned the outlet for the heater over towards the window so it would blow on the window, and I think I sat there for almost 10 minutes, and finally the window opened, and so I went back to Wendys and got my food. And then I believe it was yesterday I went again, and I thought, well, before I even leave the driveway, I'm going to check the window. And I did. It was working. So, anywho, I was able to do that, and so got things going. Hoping to do, and I'm not promising anything this year at all on videos, but if I've got something to make a video of, I will make it if I feel like it. There's a lot of ifs there. And if not, well, you may not see a video on a Wednesday from me. And that's the day I like to post them. I don't know why. It's just the day I've chose. But anywho, like I said, that's that. I see even Puddin' didn't even make a video last night. He usually has one on Monday evening at 6 o'clock on his time, I think. But he didn't post one up. Maybe he'll post one tonight. I don't know. But anywho, that's like I said, everybody's got their little thing going. I did see Ron down in Florida making a video on that Zenith, and I believe it was the Zenith. I may have forgotten now. But anyway, I'm glad to see Ron back doing some stuff, and missed him greatly on the interwebs. So like I said, everything 2024 has not started out the best for me. I'm hoping it'll get better. You always hope for the best. So again, the business seems to be doing fine. We're not gangbusters, but we're selling kits every couple, 3 a month at least. So can't complain too much about that. So we do have some more parts coming to make plenty up. I think I've got enough to make 100 kits on the screws that I ordered. And then Bob ordered things to make equal things with the parts that he ordered. We were missing volume controls and a couple other items that only had 6 or 7 of those left. So again, I do have enough to last. We've got new boards coming. We were low on those. Those have been shipped. So those will be arriving. And like I said, we got things coming together pretty good in 2024 for the business at least. So, and hoping, like I say again, on these, I'm hoping to get some video on these, and actually audio on this, but the video will be about them. So, like I said, things are happening, and the project with the boombox, hopefully I get going on that once it warms up a little bit, and I can get back in here and change the spool on the 3D printer, get that going again, and like I said, seems to be fairly warm in here for a day like this. I think the temperature, I think when I looked earlier it was 7. It probably went up since then, probably up to 10 or 12 by now. I'd say it's afternoon. So, anywho, that's that. And that's me talking a lot, and I know I'm sorry about that. It is what it is. I'm actually happy that I was able to talk this long, because I've been talking to my son on the phone And most of the times when I talk to him, I have to stop and cough 15 times. And so, anywho, that's been good. We are supposed to go down to his house, I think, on Friday. And my daughter and son-in-law are going as well. And I'm going to get his computer installed for him so he can play his games. And I think they want to play some cards and things. And I'm hoping that'll go well. So that's about it from DERB in Seymour, Indiana. And I hope you guys are having better weather where you are. Again, Greg, I know you're not, but like I said, you kind of have to be used to it up there. So, the rest of you guys, like I say, have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching, and we will see ya.